Hey, welcome back to Golf WRX's Winning What's in the Bag, where this week we are taking a look at Ben Griffin's Winning What's in the Bag from the 2025 Charles Schwab Challenge. Congratulations to him, his second win of the year. First one was at the Zurich, where him and Andrew Novak won the team event, and now his own first individual win on the PGA Tour. So congratulations to him, playing some amazing golf. We're going to jump into his What's in the Bag, which hasn't changed really since the last tournament, but we'll jump in and we start at the top as usual. So driver, he is using the Ping G430 Max 10K driver. Now this is a 9-degree head and the hosel is set into the neutral position. So it is playing at 9 degrees and the standard lie angle. Now this is the super forgiving, super straight 10K MOI driver. Now he's probably not using it because it is so straight and easy to hit. He's probably using it because typically these 10K drivers have a little bit higher launch, a little bit more spin. So in order to create probably the best launch parameters, this driver fits his need the best while still being pretty straight on that occasional miss that he might have. Now the shaft in this one is a UST Mamiya Lin-Q or Link prototype. It's a V17TX. We don't know 100% what it is yet. UST is not just dishing out the details on this shaft. I've heard of a few, like two people who maybe have one in their hands who aren't touring professionals, say it's extremely stable, very stout, and they're liking it so far. But again, 70-gram range, not sure what it is, not sure on the profile or any of the specs yet, but it does have a white logo on it. So I'm assuming, well, one, it's either a prototype logo, or two, UST has made a white profile in their Link shafts before. So the white profile is typically kind of a mid to mid-low launch and low spin part. They typically then make a black part that is a low launch, low spin, and then a blue, which is more mid. So I'm gonna assume this might be the white part, but we don't know. We'll see later on when UST decides to let this thing out and give us the rest of the specs. But that is driver. So we move to 3-wood, and his 3-wood is a TaylorMade Qi35 3-wood. Now this is the 15-degree head. It is the kind of tour issue only bonded hosel version. I know in the retail we all begged for the interchangeable hosel or the adjustable hosel, and we got it. Super exciting. But on tour they do have a bonded version as well, and his looks to be the bonded one. The shaping also looks to be a little bit more traditional. Now with the standard Qi35, both driver and 3-wood have gone more to a shape that looks a little bit similar to the Max model. So it's a little bigger, a little more rounded profile. These bonded hosel versions, to my eye, look like they're a little bit closer to the standard Qi10 before, where it's a little more like pear-shaped. The heel angle kind of sweeps up towards the back just a little bit more. It kind of looks like that from my eye, so it could be something where making 3-woods that has a different look to it for these tour pros who want that. But again, not 100% sure. TaylorMade doesn't tell us much about some of the tour issue stuff, so a lot of it just from photos and other accounts. Now this one here, shaft-wise, is very similar to driver. We are using the UST Mamiya Link prototype V18TX, so the 80-gram range version. Again, not sure on profile specs on this one, much like the driver. We're just kind of assuming it may be a white profile, it may be something different, but I know we have also seen some other versions. So this is the V1 Proto. I know we saw pictures of V2, and I'm trying to remember if there was a V3, but there's some other models out there as well in terms of having different version logos on them. And again, I don't know if those are different bend profiles or just like a tweaking of this same profile. I guess we'll find out whenever UST decides to kind of break that news to us on that. So 15-degree head for the 3-wood. And then there's sometimes he puts a 7-wood in the bag, but not this tournament. We move on to irons then. And for the first iron, he's got a little bit of a combo set. So the first iron is going to be a 3-iron, and this is the Mizuno JPX 923 Tour. So the previous 923 Tour, 925, there is no Tour model, as you know. There's a 925 Forged, and then you move into the Hot Metal Pro, Hot Metal High Launch, all those. But with the 923, there was a Tour model. So this is a 923 Tour Forged cavity back, one piece. It was a great kind of blade-ish looking cavity back that they made in the previous version. Now this one here, if you look at the sole, it has nothing on it. It's very blank. There's no number, anything like that. I first thought that this was something where they just did some custom grind or something like that. It's actually not the case. With the JPX 923 Tour, Mizuno never made a 3-iron for that set. They just made 4 through gap wedge. So Ben wanted a 3-iron, and there must be some kind of like launch parameters with that 923 Tour that fit his game, because they actually took a really lightweight 4-iron head kind of filled in the sole, so it doesn't have a number on it, and then bent it strong so it plays as a 3-iron. So, a lot of times when you bend strong, it's going to add a little bit of offset or something like that. There are ways to bend offset and stuff out of it, but this is a totally custom piece for him, and it did start life as a 4-iron and is now a 3-iron. So the shaft on this one is just like his actual irons. This is a True Temper Dynamic Gold Tour Issue X100, and I bet you're going to be shocked to know that it's 130 grams and lower launch and lower spin. And then we move to his full irons because he is a Mizuno staffer. So his irons are the new Mizuno Pro S3 irons. So he's playing those 4 through pitching wedge. Now this is the new kind of blade-looking cavity back iron that Mizuno came out with just recently. Very good look, a little shorter blade length, just a touch of offset to it, very thin top line. The cavity is very shallow. I mean, these were built for skilled players to get precision, consistency, and great feel and sound out of them. And they do deliver that. So they've also has a tri-cut sole that helps with turf interactions, kind of got a pre-worn leading edge as it gets into the turf, gets that leading edge lower for strikes a little bit up on the face, and then has some trailing edge relief for great release from the turf. They're not super forgiving, but they are probably one of the softest irons I've hit this year. Just great sound and feel to them as well. Now he's playing these with it, and the shafts on these are going to be True Temper Dynamic Gold Tour Issue X100s. So again, 130 grams is kind of the standard, kind of a little bit of stiffer handle, kind of a stiff tip, a little softer midsection on these, but kind of produce kind of a low mid launch and lower spin. Now moving to wedges, and his wedges, the first one is going to be a new Mizuno Pro T1. So this is the brand new wedge from Mizuno out. They made the T3, that's kind of the cavity back, and then the T1 is kind of traditional kind of blade look on the back there. This is a 5008 S grind. I'm assuming it's that because we don't have an actual in-hand photo of it. He had some different wedges in the bag when we last shot his bag, and he has since switched to these T1s. So it is a 50 degree. We've confirmed that. I just don't know if it's something that's tour issue, but for the 50 degree and 08 S grind is what they offer at retail. Now the S grind is basically the standard grind. It's built for full shots that the wedge is played square to the hole, good turf interaction, and it is forged from 1025 carbon steel. Now moving to a sand wedge, and a sand wedge is a matching Mizuno Pro T1, but this is the 5610 M grind. So the M grind is going to be kind of the moderate bounce option, 10 degrees, in the 56. It's got more relief on the trailing edge, the heel and the toe, so you can kind of open that the blade up. That leading edge doesn't come off the ground. Offers a little bit more versatility around the green for hitting a different variety of shots compared to, say, the 50 degree. This one here, same thing, forged from 1025 carbon steel. All right, so we move into lob wedge, and his lob wedge is actually something a little different. It is a TaylorMade Milled Grind 4, or MG4, depending on how you want to refer to it. It is a 60-10 SB, so this is the standard bounce, standard sole, 10 degrees of bounce, 60 degree loft. Now these here, the MG4s, I think they're a big upgrade over the MG3s, definitely better feel, a little bit softer, a little more squared off out in the toe area, straight leading edge. But a really solid lob wedge. Now the SB is basically a little bit fuller sole, so it could play really well out of the bunker or soft conditions. It still has some 4-way camber to it, and it also has some heel relief, so that way you can still open the wedge up, hit higher lofted shots, get a little more versatile with it while still offering good float in soft conditions like sand, rough, or softer turf. But it also has kind of a laser etched a mini groove in between the main grooves, offers a ton of spin, and just overall a really good offering from TaylorMade in these in the new wedges. Now the shafts on these and all the wedges, so the 50, the 56, and the 60, are going to be True Temper Dynamic Gold Tour Issue S400s. Again, this is kind of one of the most common wedge shafts out there. 132 grams, so just slightly heavier than the X100 iron shafts, but matches the same bend profile. But they're a little bit softer, so they offer a little bit more touch, a little bit more feel when you're not hitting those full shots with them. We moved to putter, and this one here, when I talked about his bag from the Zurich, I kind of got blasted for this one, and I'll admit I'm not the best Scotty Cameron expert in the world, but he is playing a Scotty Cameron Concept 2 prototype. So this is a tour issue putter, only made for tour. It is based off a Newport 2 head shape, so it's got the more squared off bumpers, the sharper angles, a little bit more boxy look from a dress. Now I actually said it was a tour rat because of the face insert. Found out I was completely wrong. because the concepts are a little bit older, but they do have a GSS face insert. Now this insert, like a Tour Rat has an insert that's just in the face. These Tour concepts actually have an insert that goes all the way to the bottom of the sole and actually curves around almost onto the sole of it. So it takes up the full part of the face. That insert is made from GSS, which is Scotty's German stainless steel. German stainless steel to Scotty, they say it feels better, it's a little bit softer, easier to machine, and it is the highest grade of stainless steel that they use. Now there are, things out there that people say that is, right or wrong, but that is what is used on the face insert. On the sole, he's got twin 10-gram weights inserted into the bottom of his head, and you can see this has a black finish that is definitely starting to wear off. Makes me think that this whole putter is made of stainless steel because I don't see any rust or patina. We just see the finish wearing off. Single sight line on the flange, but a kind of classic putter that's been in his bag for quite some time. Now for the rest of his grips, he uses the Golf Pride MCC. This is the kind of, as they say, the #1 hybrid grip on tour. And by hybrid, they're meaning multi-material. So the upper hand is a firmer rubber with a brushed cotton cord through it for better traction, moisture control. And then the lower hand is going to be a softer rubber for more feel, better responsiveness, and it is also usually a different color. So he uses a little mix. We've seen in his bag the black and whites, the black and kind of light blues, and I believe the black and kind of black as well. So the all black with just slight white, accents to it on there. So it kind of mixes up the grips a little bit throughout his set. Now for ball, this is the interesting one because he actually uses a Maxfli, yes, a Maxfli Tour X. Yes, the Maxfli is the same Maxfli that you can buy over at Golf Galaxy, Dick's Sporting Goods for $39 a dozen or $120 for 4 dozen. It is a slightly less expensive ball, but it is built as a Tour caliber ball. They make a couple different versions, the Tour S, Tour X. He is playing the X model. That is the 4-piece ball. The other ones are 3-piece, but he's playing the 4-piece ball in the X. Now the X does fly a little bit higher. It spins a little bit more compared to, say, the Tour S. And it does have a little bit firmer feel, so it sounds like it's kind of more of a Pro V1X equivalent, but made by Maxfli. So showing that just because it's a little bit cheaper at like $40 a dozen doesn't mean it's not good enough to play on tour, because Ben Griffin has won twice with that ball. So that is Ben Griffin's What's in the Bag from the 2025 Charles Schwab Challenge. Congratulations again to him on his first solo PGA Tour win and his second win of the year. But yeah, that is it. So check back next week when we jump into the next players winning What's in the Bag.